Today, representatives from various agencies and industrial companies gathered for a workshop that examined how Belize handles chemical waste. Chief Environmental Officer Anthony Mai explained that once chemicals are used, they turn into waste. It's then up to the Department of the Environment to make sure this waste is managed properly so it doesn't harm the environment or our health.
Chemical has the capacity to create significant environmental harm and human health related harm. And so it is important for the Department of Environment to put, activities, measures in place to be able to reduce the negative impact that chemicals could have on the environment and to human health. Today we're here because we've hired a consultant to kind of develop the base tool that we would need in order for us to kind of guide our directions forward. And so we have, again, key institutions here because chemicals basically stretches across all sectors. Chemicals is used at the household level. It is used in the health sector. It is used in the agricultural sector. It is used by academia. It is used by the private sector. So it involves all sector.
Belize is already recognized as a trailblazer in the Caribbean and Latin America. To keep up the momentum, the ministry has brought on board Stephen Sangster, a chemistry lecturer from UB, as a consultant. His mission? To lead the charge in creating a solid framework for new legislation that ensures proper chemical management.
Belize is actually one of the leaders in the region when it comes to implementing these agreements. We have a lot of laws and frameworks in place. We do have some reports that we've done, but there's more we can do.
Sangster emphasizes that as environmentalists and the legal team work on updating the legislation, it's crucial to launch an education campaign. This campaign would teach people how to properly handle and manage the chemicals they use every day.
One of the main things that Belize has done is sort of phased out a lot of the very persistent chemicals that stay in the environment for long periods of time. We're making sure we're not producing it in country, that they don't come into country, but there are a few that we're managing as we go. Things like mercury or DDT that we use to control malaria, those chemicals are useful in our current climate, but what we want to do is make sure everybody is aware of how to best manage the use and the sort of day-to-day interaction with these chemicals, and how do we dispose of it when we're done with it, making sure it's not leaking into our environment. There are a lot of information out there that these agreements have provided some technical assistance in how do we manage these chemicals.
Mai points out that although Belize has a solid track record in managing chemical waste, there are new areas the global community is aiming to improve. That's where we need to direct our attention.
Currently, there are some major international agreements that Belize are signatory to. For example, is the Basel Convention, the Rotterdam Convention, the Stockholm Convention, the Minamata Convention, and then recently there is the Global Framework on Chemicals Management. And again, all of these conventions are important. All of them look at chemical from a different perspective and requires different obligations from a country.
Minister of Sustainable Development, Orlando Habet, says that once the national strategy is finalized, he will urge the cabinet to take the necessary actions to implement it.
I will be taking some of these information papers and memorandum papers to cabinet for their approval, and those that will become the act and regulations that will also have to go to the House for acceptance by the House of Representatives for it to become the acts. But also because I think that very important for us is that we comply, but also because compliance is also providing the human health, the wellness that we need in our country. And as I mentioned, both for agriculture, but also for human health, and in the broad sense for the environment.
The Department of the Environment keeps a close eye on things, and when they spot violations and find those responsible, they don't hesitate to take legal action against the offenders. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.